YouTube on the
All right.
tube, and then we can start going.
All right.
It's going. Ding, 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 ding. All righty.
All
Okay.
right. Hello. 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 And good morning. It's 11:11 on the dot. Look at that,
Oh my
my
gosh.
friends.
Of course
Of
it
course
is.
it is. And we are activating the Bravo twin powers today. And the funniest part about this is we've been talking about doing this for months. And
Mhm.
we are here, my friends. So we have me, Marcy Bravo Tang, and my twin sister, Monica Bravo, and we are just going in the flow today to just talk about what we do, how we help people, it's not only us being twins that we activate each other, but we activate other people along the way. We're going to talk to you about what we do, how we
Yep.
help each other, and where we're at in the community so you can join us more often. So, yeah. So, you want to start and tell us a little bit about you, sis?
Oh yeah. Well, my quick and dirty story, I would say, is I started out in business school at Sonoma State, and there was a point in my life where I was like, this just isn't working. And I tell my daughter it's because of her. I went to yoga class, and I was like, what is this? When I got into Shavasana, I was like, is that my extra spirit? Like, who is this person that I forgot? It was like I had this knowing I forgot this
Mhm.
person, and I saw her for a minute. And it really propelled me along with, we used to do Ironmans together, is when I was in
Yeah.
pain, I would go to yoga. And then I actually wasn't going to become a yoga teacher. I just wanted to take the training, which we'll tell everybody about. We are certified in so many wonderful things. But I
Yes.
just wanted to take the training. And when I finished, my teacher, like most of my teachers, they said, you start on Monday. And I was like, what? I wasn't even thinking about becoming a teacher. I just wanted to learn.
Yeah, exactly. And then here you are.
Here I
How many
am.
years? How many years later?
Yeah, and lots of different things, losing the house in the fires, working with shamanic practitioners, and also like finding my own way. I think that's what we're going to talk about too, is being a manifesting generator. So we find as a 1-3, we find things and we make them better. Like we
Yeah.
make them faster, easier. We just like throw them in the vortex, and it's like it's something new and efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So a little bit about me. So if you don't know me, Marcy Bravo Tang, I am a mortgage lender, and I've specialized in helping people all over Sonoma County in California buy homes and get the best rates and really just find a way to make their dreams come true. And it's being in sales for 25 years. It's I would say it's a little man's world. It's a men's business, and women, we were raised to be really strong women. Luckily, we were raised to, know we could be the president, we could be whatever we wanted, the go in the stars. There's no boundaries, and that's a beautiful thing. It also makes you work super duper duper hard. So I am, a high achiever that's now learning to calm down my energy system here. And I also had a few mentors that told me I'd be great coaching. I had mentors that told me I'd be doing art. My spiritual teacher, Rebecca, she 4 years ago during COVID, she I can remember her saying, "I cannot wait to see what you're going to be doing for people." And I just looked at her and said, "What? What are you talking about? Like, what am I doing for people? What am I doing for people? I don't know." And now it's seeing my art medicine and somatic movement and healing those big emotions or moving through those big emotions without talking about them, and talk therapy and all that stuff is a new movement, and I'm ready to share that with the world. So here we are.
I love that. I love that we both work with the non-talk therapy. That's where I guess I want to talk about that too, is that we're both in this realm where it's like we're beyond that, which is amazing. Like if you've done it, amazing, good. And if it didn't work for you, we both have modalities. I do shamanic hypnotherapy and soul retrieval. You do a lot of similar things. I mean, you can dive that into that in the art medicine too, but
Yep.
we are not sitting in our stuff. We're moving it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Constantly, consistently. And some days, we're finding our rhythm too. And I talk about that with people. is we do have these like ups and downs, or like super high energy and then down and up and down. And that's actually where we can lead into the human design, and how you found it and then I found it, and we were both like, holy shit, like how did we not know about this? And to be able to see what and why our body and our blueprint and what's happening, and be able to follow kind of a roadmap, and then
Yeah.
teach people that as well, right? Like,
It's just one of those brilliant things. You're like, here's the roadmap, and this is what I can take from it, because we talk about that too. Like we don't have to take everything, but take the piece we want and use it. When I realized we were 1-3 manifesting generators with a sacral authority, I was like, oh, you mean everybody doesn't have a sacral authority? Like my daughter is an emotional authority, so it's super different than me. And to know like people are like some people need to wait 24 hours to make a decision. I am like
yep,
a fuck yeah, like
right
I
now,
know. And
let's go.
people, yeah, I've been on dates and guys are like, why are you saying it like that? I'm like, because it's a no. Like it is an
Yeah.
immediate no.
So with that, and because there's a lot of people on here who don't know what does a sacral hit or sacral energy mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's we like to test it. And I remember when we did it together. Do you remember? I
Yeah.
was like, do you like coffee? You're like, uh-huh. Do you like to hike? Uh-huh. So it's
Yeah.
that when you're just like in the flow, going through the flow, and someone goes, "You want to do that?" And you're like, "No."
Mm-mm.
Like you feel it in your body. The sacral chakra is your creative center, so it's right above your root, underneath your belly button. And some people, I feel it in my solar plexus a lot of times. Like the
Mm-hmm,
no
me
is
too.
like the punch in the gut is like that is a no.
Yeah.
And the heart, my chest, like, oh, I feel myself literally going like that, right?
Yeah.
To it,
Yeah.
then it's a
So
yes.
yes. Yeah. I do.
And
I
there are
realize that I do that a lot too when I'm like meditating, or if I'm coaching somebody and I'm asking them questions and my body's like, yes, go deeper. Yes, go deep. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, calm down. Right.
right.
But people don't realize that if they're, emotional people or brain people or whatever you are, like if you take a second and ask a question, it's going to be like, oh, my stomach hurts, or oh, your brain starts going, or whatever it is. But you can be taught to notice and sit down and figure out and change your mindset and develop a new path, you know, and
Yeah,
brainwaves for
some
that.
people were not, or as kids, a lot of people were taught, like, no, do it my way. Like your intuition and your inner knowing is like, forget about that. And so a
Yeah.
lot of women and men I talk to, they're like, how do you do that? And it is that basic, it was my basic thing is like, ask yourself, like, do I want to go on a podcast today? Yeah. It's like, do I want to go for a walk today? I was no, which is unlike me, but I was like, no, I don't want to do that. So you can
Yeah.
ask, and I have questions I give to my clients. Like, here's a 5 questions. Ask yourself every morning.
Yeah.
And then
And
they,
yeah, it was interesting because with that, we talk about clearing and meditating and doing all these different things. And, people think it takes so long. I don't want to take 25, 30 minutes, whatever it is. I was talking to one of my clients yesterday and I said, what if with your prayers or whatever your early morning journaling is, what if you just sit there and put some sage on and you connect with your highest self, and you connect with your guides, and you connect with source, and you feel it that quickly. You're like, 1 minute I'm in, what is my day supposed to look like? These are the questions I have. Am I aligned? Okay, let's go. Boom, out. Like it's that easy, right? And people don't
yeah,
believe
and
it.
then also forgive it and forgiving yourself that you did it, you weren't doing that. A lot of people are like, oh, I hear that a
Yeah,
lot. Like, oh, I don't do that. It's like, that's okay. Like,
yeah,
start today. Like,
yeah.
start just asking yourself these simple questions because that's what activates people, right? Is that
Mm-hmm.
is just
Let
asking. But again, some people don't have the sacral authority, so they have to wait. Their emotional authority, you got to wait at 24 hours. So if something excites you, which is like you and I, it's like that excites us, we're going. But if it doesn't excite you, or you're like, ugh, I hate that, or oh, I don't like that emotional authority, you actually have to wait till you're neutral,
yeah,
which
till
is
you
so
don't.
odd to me.
Yeah. But you have to do it, and that's why that whole thing where we all are different, and that's why
Mhm.
there are so many coaches out there, so many modalities, so many tools so many roadmaps that people have access to. And we have a few of them that we want to share with you. And like I started doing my art medicine, which is teaching, people to feel their big emotions without talking and developing, somatic movements that move you through some trauma, old inner child stuff. It's like cleaning out a messy closet. You're not talking to anybody about it, right? You're cleaning out your messy closet. And that's the easiest way for me to talk to people about it. And when I started talking to you about it, and you even did one of my classes, it's like you don't realize how easy it is to move through something because we're all taught different ways.
It's so easy. I remember taking that. I wish I had my thing right here. I might also, but I do light language. So I was like, when I was doing it, it was like all these light codes. Those of you that don't know light language,
Mm-hmm.
it's a old form of language that runs through you, and the more you speak it or you hear it, the more you do it. So it's just
Yeah,
like energy flow. But I remember I was like, oh wow, like I'm doing all these things on this paper, and it was so beautiful. But at the end, I'm like, just in 5 minutes or so, I felt like relaxed, like all the shit
yeah,
I was thinking about that day. And I teach breath work, right? And I was like, I
yeah,
didn't even have to do breath work.
yeah.
I was just like, la la la.
Yeah, free and flowy. And I think it connects too. I think people don't realize it does connect with that little girl, that little boy inside. Because the men too are going like, wait, what is that? And yeah, what if you could just sit there and, connect, do a little, ask some questions, or don't ask questions. Just ask your body, what do you want to move through? And then you'll feel like a little ache in your shoulder. Like, what's that? Okay, I want to move through that. And then you're moving through that. So somatic movements that are free and just playful that you don't have to get stuck. And then I came to you to I started my art medicine school on
Yee.
school
Whoop
to
whoop.
yep whoop whoop and people wonder, they're like, wait, are you guys compete? I mean, you guys do a lot of the same things. We're like, no, we totally support each other and call each other and send each other messages at 4 o'clock in the morning going like, hey, I want to do this, what do you think? I want to do that. And we're just like little kids, and it's that like really exciting energy that
Yeah.
I think we activate each other. But it was cool too when you were telling me, well, why don't we do some ads for your school? I'm like, what's that? Like, why would I want to do that? And here we are 4 days later with 121
Yeah.
warm leads.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like, are you freaking kidding me right now? I'm like, oh, that's why you do that. I don't know how to do that, right? So
Yeah.
I wanted to celebrate you for helping
Yay.
me do that for one, and for two, like talk about why you teach people that or why
Yeah,
you
I
do it.
love that. I love doing it for people. I have a course starting next Tuesday and Wednesday called the Celebration Method. It's an authentic way to connect with your soul clients and celebrate them. Like celebrate them on their biggest memories, childbirth, birthdays, anniversaries, graduation. Like you can connect with these people in a different way and say, "Hey, I want to celebrate you. Like give me a call or take this free art class." But the big thing was I watched people, especially healers and art, like, somatics, yoga
Spiritual people.
teachers, spiritual
Yeah,
people. And they're
yeah,
like, I'm just going to go slow. I'm going to do this organically. I'm going to just see how the universe provides me. I'm like, well, the universe brought me to do these
yeah,
ads.
yeah, for
So,
you.
yeah, so the universe has, downloaded all this information. We'll talk about the BravoBot later, but it's like I have all this information to give to you all because I'm not a fucking bro marketer. I keep saying that. Like, I'm not gonna be like, hey, bro, like, let's do this. I'm saying, let's get your gifts. Let's
Yeah,
gather those people. Like, put your energy out there through ads, very small, $5 a day. You're $5 a day. I think you're getting like 20 15 10 to 15 people a day coming
yeah,
in towards the school. So like if you didn't have that, then you would just be sending messages to your friends and your colleagues and telling them share my post, and that's awesome, but it only goes so
yeah,
far.
yeah. And on that note, with the celebration, I did want to say something that sparked for me is the you do the celebration method. I kind of do the grieving method with the art, which is very
Yeah.
interesting because it's like flip flopped, right? So I just saw that saw that yin and yang there, where I, with art medicine, do the grief. That people don't grieve, not having their body after having their children, or going through perimenopause, their kids leaving the house, losing their job, whatever it is in life. Graduating from college as a celebration is also a grieving point, that you're moving out of your parents' house, right? So there's all these things we are never taught, and that's kind of where I come in too. So it was actually really cool to see the yin and yang of that celebration and
I
grief.
just
So
saw that too when you said, I was like, whoa. It's like,
yeah,
the triangle and then the upside down triangle is what my vision was. Because I
yeah.
have that. And I think I wrote that in my art
Ooh, you
medicine
did.
class.
Yeah.
It all clicks together. It's like, click.
Well,
Yeah.
and you complement each other, right? And that's
Yeah.
a part of what people, in our community don't understand. They're like, wait, like I said, you're doing the same thing. No, we do different things in different ways, and it complements each other. And we work together. We've worked on businesses together. A local woman who was starting a business, and what did you do for her?
Yeah, I helped her. Well, we uncovered some things she wasn't seeing in herself. She was scared of being visible. And
Mm-hmm.
we uncovered some trauma that she never talked about. So I do full breakthrough like Tony Robbins. I do a full day breakthrough with people. And so just doing the intake and letting her unconscious mind talk about it, she was like, wait, what? Like
Yeah.
she heard herself say things that she didn't even realize. And then we did a hypnosis. I recorded her a custom hypnosis, and we actually did some entity removal energy that was like she felt was literally like pushing her down, like it wouldn't let her get up. And once that was gone, it was like she was like well, you experienced that. She was like a new woman.
Yeah, she was. And then you called me and said, "Okay, can you help her with the business plan and get her rocking?" And I went in there and I was like, "Whoa!" And within once you started doing your hypnotherapy too, like every week I would meet with her, and she was just like a little bit different person, positive. I mean, she was so grateful we both came into our lives, but just setting her up with structure for what she should be doing for the week, knowing like what was clear and aligned for her, like what she really enjoyed doing, which we both kind of tag teamed on that. You would bring it up and you would tell me, just make sure if she's doing the selling part of it, that she's selling what the services she wants to provide, right? The things that really make her feel good inside. And so we tapped into that, got her going, and I think she got 12 clients in 2 weeks. And it's just that energy that's like activating, and we complement each other on different things, and it was beautiful. And it's
Yeah,
a
and
beautiful to have.
that
Yeah.
was just following a nudge. Like someone had called me and said, do breath work there like months before. And I was sitting at the coffee shop and I literally kept like, go next, isn't that place next door? I'm like, what? Like, go
Yeah.
next door. I kept like, okay. And she said she was like hiding like behind the counter and I was knocking. And then she was like, oh my God, she saw me. And then she asked me what I do. And I said, I help people with trauma and break through their blocks. And she was like, sit down.
Yeah.
So, and then we
Well,
went from there.
yeah, she told me she prayed for you. Like she prayed
Oh,
for help. And I
yeah.
think that's too that whole the whole story about, someone's throwing you a light, you're drowning and you're getting thrown a life vest, and you're getting thrown things, a helicopter comes down to try to help you, and you're like, "No, I just want, the source or God or somebody will be there." No, you have to use the tools again that are out there and available for you to improve and get better and answer your prayers, or whatever you're manifesting. That's the answer, but you
Yeah.
actually have to take the step forward and do it. Like I have people go like, hell yes, I'm doing that. And then I'll be talking to them about coaching, and it's like, and they're like, oh yes, I want to do it, but then that today, and you're like, wait, what? You had like such a sacral yes that you can't. It's very hard for people just to move forward and just take that chance. It's brave and courageous, and sometimes it's not the right timing, but yeah, we hope that people do.
Yeah, and there's so many great opportunities like out there for people. I think the divine has given people so many things they can do for marketing. And a lot of people, instead, I did it for a long time. I just take another course and I just take another course instead of
Yeah,
just like helping. And that's what I tell my clients. Instead of getting on there, like I created an AI bot that will do your marketing for you. And they're still like, oh, I think I need more, I need to learn more. I'm like, no, no, believe me, I know. It's time to
you're like,
let that
I
go.
was you. That's
I
why I'm
was
coaching
you.
you.
Like I have t 15 certifications, and
Yeah,
some that I don't even need. Like there's many that I just, but again, going with the manifesting January 1-3, you find something and you just, shoop, you just go on that path and it's
yeah,
okay. And I remember my teacher in 2020, she's like, forgive yourself every day because you are a manifesting generator, you are an experimenter, you are an
yeah,
investigator. You do things messy, but you do them and you actually like activate other people. They watch you and they're like, wow, she just did that. Like with
yeah,
your art medicine, it's like, wow, I mean, I watched you do art since we were kids, and I would always say,
right.
why aren't you doing art?
Yeah. Life gets in the way, right? This other programming we accept in marriage and kids and all of that, that you believe that you have to put yourself on the back burner. And I
Yeah.
think that's really a part of why I was so inspired and motivated to get school going is that, you know what? I don't care if you're laying in bed next to your husband and you have your little journal and you can sketch and move around. Like it only takes a few minutes for you to just let your shoulders down. I don't want, I mean, if I can help you not scroll on the internet and ask what's wrong with me, why do I feel this way? I have everything like me. I have the pool, I have the house, I have the kids. All my kids are moving out. I felt empty. I needed something else that was mine and I needed to connect with too. Learn how to connect with the divine spirit, learn how to connect with myself and be fully aligned. And until I was, now I can do it. So I totally understand when we're talking about it. You're like, don't, people aren't going to understand that. Now right before we get on here, I make sure I'm good and here we are, right? Talking about clear energy.
Yeah, and you were texting me, we're going back and forth, and I was like, I'm dancing right now because that's what I'm like dancing
Yeah.
my energy out and like
Yeah.
clearing the energy. And I think let's talk about like what the questions people and it's funny because I think lately there's more questions people are asking again, but what are some questions people ask you? Number one, they're always like, I didn't know you had a twin.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
Like, yep.
I think the funniest thing is that how who's older?
Uh-huh.
Who's older? So I'm asking you. Yeah. By how many? How old? So a day or 2 days or 3 days? We're
That's
twins, bro.
ridiculous.
5 minutes. She's and I tell people and I kicked her ass out.
Yeah. I wanted the womb to myself, right?
I wanted to be the baby girl and yeah. Ended up being having super masculine energy most of my life and trying to come back to the feminine energy, and
Yeah.
it's been a journey. So but yeah, the question, I think one of my favorite times was when I was at Trader Joe's in Santa Rosa and this guy's like, she told me she had a sister twin, but man, I didn't know it was you. And the best part is I had my hair long like you and you
Yeah.
had your hair shorter than me. So then
Yeah.
people really got screwed up, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was at the so we live in Sonoma County. I was at the Sonoma County Women's Professional Group. You were in Switzerland,
Yeah.
and I was there, and a lady came up and talked to me and was la la la, and we're talking, awesome. And she's like, "How was the retreat?" I'm like, "Oh, my retreat to Italy is next month." And she's like, "No, the one in Geyserville or whatever." I'm all, "Oh."
Ukiah.
You got me
Ukiah
right.
Ranch. Yeah.
I said, you're talking about my sister. And she's like, pardon me? I'm like, my twin sister, Marcy. My name is Monica Bravo. And
Yeah. That is the best.
she was like, what?
Yeah. And people like don't understand that we are like well, our parents decided that they wanted us to go to separate schools. So that started there. So when we were in kindergarten, after that until fourth grade, so 5 years, we went to separate schools,
Yeah,
develop our own identities, our own friends, our own way of life. So I went into sales, you went into accounting.
yeah,
Well, and he moved away. I was
yeah,
raising kids super young. I got married young. And so our, yeah, where, who we are and where we are in life is totally separate.
yeah,
Like, real
yeah,
estate, mortgages, that, and then you got yoga and hypnotherapy and all this stuff. And it is interesting because people are like, well, now you're doing that. And it is, because once you start working on yourself, I start learning the tools, then
Yeah.
I can help you learn the tools, right? And so, and that's
Yeah.
where you were. Yeah.
Exactly. And and the thing is, you can go in and out. Like I
Hmm.
had a lady, I did hypnotherapy, soul retrieval on Monday, and she's like, "What are you doing after this?" I'm like, "Oh, I have a 3-day marketing challenge." And she's like, "How do you do that?" I'm like, "Because it's actually a great blend. It's like you go so deep, and
Yeah.
then I can pull myself out, and then I have my own private clients I do social media marketing for. So,
Yeah.
but it's that balance.
Including me. I'm
Yeah,
one of her
including you.
clients.
Yeah, so
Well,
it's
yeah. And
great. I
yeah.
mean, it
And I
makes
thought,
me feel good. Like any way I can get people more visible. I watch people, I'm like, people need to know this. Put
yeah.
$5 a day on it, please. And they're like,
Yeah.
$5. I'm like, you spend more than that on a coffee.
Yeah. Well, it's not getting into the whole coffee thing again.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you could do. I was like, you could take our coaching programs if you don't do coffee, but it's a big thing. I'll make a pot. I have a hard time buying coffee. That's a whole
Yeah.
nother thing. I
I
can make
don't
a
buy
pot
coffee
here.
anymore either.
I can make a pot here and I'm good to go. But we kind of got off track there. So we were talking about your
Questions.
Facebook. Yeah, your what are the other questions? Yeah. I've sat so many places where mainly at Airport Club where people
Yeah.
would start to tell me things. And when I got personal, I'd go, hey, 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 I'm not
That's where I
her.
draw the line.
That's where I draw the line. I can't stop 5 people a day when they start talking to me and thinking I'm you, but hey,
Oof. Yeah.
yeah.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
So let's talk about what's next for you. What's happening? Well, actually, let's talk about what happened this week because I was freaking blown away this week with your
Oh, yeah, yeah.
class, your I don't know, class, workshop. What do we call
So
it?
I would say one of my mentors like activated me. Over the last couple months activated me. I've been taking more marketing clients this year. I said at the beginning of the year, okay, because I ran a Facebook ads agency in 2017. When my house burned down, I decided I didn't want to do yoga because it was just too much. So I would
No.
do ads for people and I mean, some people I get them 7,000. I have one teacher, 7,000 leads. Someone else was
Wow.
spending like $2,000 a month crazy on ads. And I just showed her a very specific way. And then she's like, oh, I'm getting 2 booked calls a week. And I was like, sweet. So
Right.
then I realized just this year, because we go deep. I was teaching breath work and doing all this other thing. And I got laid off from my day job. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go back to helping people market because my hypnosis is like visibility. Like, how can I get people more visible? And I will just sit and like start creating a full program. Marcy knows. She'll be
Right.
like, you're creating a whole program? You
Almost
don't
five
even
this week.
yeah. And I was like, yeah, I am. And so then I decided, you know what? What if I created not a chat GPT? Because even intuitives are like, I don't really know how to prompt or I don't know what to do with this chat GPT. So I'm like, I want to have every business owner get this app and have 7 days of content, pictures, Facebook posts, DMs, whatever you want and I
Yeah.
want them to be able to test it out. So I gave it this week, 3 days. We did live calls and people asked me questions and I showed them what it could do. And it was only one of the experts. See, in my
Right.
bot, there's 10 experts, a 10
Yeah.
expert NLP, copywriter, email creator, LinkedIn DM, like everything you can, image creator. I call her the vibe too. So my marketing assistant's called the vibe. So she's the vibe. She's like, just ask her whatever you want. And if you go
Yeah.
to YouTube and watch some of these videos of what people created in 5 minutes, it's pretty freaking amazing. So what I realize is after that, there's no excuse to not post and actually promote yourself.
Yes. And that I like the at the end of your questions that you ask people on how they get visible. The last question is like between 1 and 10, 10 being the worst, I think, and one being like you don't care. Like how what was the
Scared.
question? How
How's
scared are you of posting this? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, why would you be scared? Like, what are you talking about? Why would you be scared? You have the contents free right there, but there again, is the limiting beliefs. Therein is the blocks. There is the other things that people don't realize. Like if you have a hard time having everything in the palm of your hands and you still can't post, yeah, we need to one of us needs to help you with your with limiting beliefs there and
Time
what
to go deeper.
systems. Yeah,
Yeah,
and like
time to
coping
go deeper.
mechanisms, like why is your coping mechanism to not do it, to avoid doing it, right? To overthink it. And it's not a bad thing. All those coping mechanisms, all that saboteur energy that was put there for safety, and you're now safe in your body, right?
Right.
We're going to be 50 next year.
Yeah.
So,
Whoop whoop.
there's people, yeah,
It's
whoop,
true.
whoop. There's people in their, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, wherever you are. If you are struggling with, why can't I get on a podcast and just do this? Whatever it is for you, we can help you.
Yeah.
We can help you sort out in your mind and come back to yourself, figure out who you are authentically, and be clear on what you want and how you want to present yourself.
And
Yeah,
understand your own codes too. Like
yeah.
we have a motorized throat, ajna throat. So it
People are
is
like,
like,
"What the heck does that mean?"
yeah, like we have like its structure and like stability is
Hmm.
really it's in our codes. And when people come around us, when they say, and I sent you a message about this, we were supposed to do
Yeah,
a podcast on this. When people say that person sucked my energy, it's true.
yeah,
Like, because when you and I have almost, I think we have two or three centers of our body that are not defined, that means we are born with these defined, consistent energy. So,
hmm,
consistent speaking energy, consistent structure energy, consistent, creative energy. Some people, we are a little bit overgivers, but that's an
yeah.
open energy center.
Compassionate
However,
people, man.
yeah, and
you know,
so not everybody has that, but if you can find a buddy, a coach like you, and be around that energy, your energy is literally activated. And you're like, so just think
yeah,
about that as you're just like, you get your little twin energy when you're around us. And people say, how can you just hang out with me? Because all of
yeah,
a sudden I'm creating a business plan and I'm ready to do this. So
yeah.
some people really, they have open centers. They really, it's a necessity to be more in community, I would say.
Yeah. And a part of that too, like this year community was a big part of my goals. And it was just because, and I've been on podcasts and talked about this, but when you are older, like your friendships change. I have friends that have kids that are still playing soccer or baseball or whatever, and their focus still is on their kids. My kids are all out of the house, and I have a lot more time on my hands to support other women, to be in community. So, the Sonoma County Women's Professionals Group, I'm speaking there next week, but I went into that full heartedly to just build a beautiful community of people. I didn't build it, it was already there, but I really feel so strongly about the energy and how we can work together, have that feminine energy, teach business women that, being aligned and spiritual and clear is the business way to go,
Yeah.
because you're not just grinding and grinding and grinding. You're clear on what you want, you're clear on what your limiting beliefs are. So I will also be up at Masculine Winery and
Oh,
doing
yeah.
a visibility activation workshop there. Really, it's a networking event, but
Oh my gosh, I got to stop you because everybody that's watching this and they're like, "Oh, she's talking about sales." I said, "Yes, I remember when I was scared to get on like calls with people and she was like, "Go for the no." I'm all, "What?" And she's
yes,
like, "Oh, I look forward to a no." And it took me a little bit, but once I got that and I'm getting all these like little sparklies in my head right
yeah.
now, um it was like, yeah, be okay with the no because that just means you got to go ask more better questions.
Well, and learning rejection, that's what it is.
Right.
Early, I'm like, I think everyone should learn how to cold call, and I think everyone should learn the sales techniques that they really hate, because you have to understand why do you hate that. And
Mhm.
yeah, my goal for, I think it was right before COVID, and I remember telling my boss, he's like, what are your goals for the year? I said, to get as many no's as I can get. And he goes, why would you want that? And I said, that means I'm consistently asking. That's my goal, to consistently ask. And what's wrong with that? If you're aligned and clear on what you want, I mean, I'm like you. I did working on refinance stuff for people, working on helping people getting houses. And I also am in community with art people. I'm in the community with women. I'm with you anytime I can, right? We're like bebopping off each other. Like, what do we do? And it's all out of love and support for the collective. That's really what it is. Because, even our mom was like, I don't understand why you guys have to do this. When you realize in your, heart and soul that your job or a part of you is to support and evolve and grow with the community and help people level up to like new programming, it's there's nothing you could do. You
Yeah,
have to
and
be in it.
the
You have
more
to be
you
in it.
fight it, the more it's like I hear my grandmother saying "mija," like right now. She'll
Yeah,
just be like, "Hello," like get going. And when I'm,
right.
my son said the other day, Dre, he said I was at grandma's grave, and his girlfriend's grandmother's actually buried a couple spaces
Mm,
down. He goes, "That's so
well,
weird." I said, "No, it's not weird." I go, "It's I think it's interesting. However, I said, he goes, aren't you sad? I said, no, actually, because I'm doing laundry and she's talking to me, or I'm feeling these messages or singing these songs. And that was where I wanted to go back to like what people ask. I think
yeah,
people ask both of us, how can we be more intuitive? How can we connect with our guides? How can we heal ourselves? These are all the questions that people,
right.
like big questions,
Big
that people
questions.
ask
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
And art
and
medicine is one way. Like that's one of the many, many ways.
yeah. Well, it's somatic movement in whatever way you can to not get stuck in big feelings, which, we'll tap in real quick to that, like, alcoholism, addiction, grief, all that stuff,
Right.
where you dealt with fires, we dealt with dad getting cancer, we've dealt with all these things. And it would be like, oh, I'm gonna have a glass of wine. Oh, I'm gonna have a bottle of wine. Oh, I'm
Yep.
gonna numb these feelings. And now it's not that, and now it's, oh, this feels like a little tender. Okay, cool. And move on, and
Yeah.
that adaptability and flexibility that you learn from consistently doing the work is where you want to be, right?
Yeah. And the fires, I remember being on the news and they were asking me what I did like to heal from the fires. And that's when I did breath work. It was like somatic breath work changed my life.
Yeah,
Like I
breathwork's
didn't,
badass.
yeah, I was like, whoa. And then I would get all these like tingly feelings and started playing with plant medicine. That's probably the beginning. My teacher's like, just delve a little bit into that. And I was like,
Yeah,
okay. And then, but that's a huge one. And then being able to teach breath work here. So I teach every other week locally. But doing that, like art medicine, breath work, yoga, dancing, moving your energy, all
I
of
mean,
it,
I
whatever
think
you
I
can
think
find.
I think our bodies knew way back when we were doing half Ironmans. That's the only way that we knew how to do it. And I
Hmm.
tell people like that's the only quiet I would get in my day is working out. So it was a kind of a meditation. Sure, we like broke our bodies down a lot and we spend a lot of time now healing from that. And if that's what you're doing, that's what you're doing now. But then, when you start hearing these things and like we say, you'll hear it one, two, three times, and then you're going to go, oh, aha, like maybe I should try and log in and see how they can help me or support me or how I can show up and get activated at one of their events, right?
Oh yeah, we
You're
got to share our links and stuff, but your website for the school, make sure we share that.
Yeah, so my school, if you go to school.com, it's called the Art of Her Awakening. And, it's for women who, just want to come back to themselves, right? You feel a little lost, or maybe you just want community, you want to find a
Mhm.
new way. And I'm doing monthly free little workshops for an hour, the first Thursday of the month. So, and then as far as social media, I'm at Level Up with Marcy with a Y, Marcy, and you can find me there and connect, send me a message. And if you're local in Sonoma County, please come out and say hello to at one of our events, Sonoma County Women's Professionals. We want the growth, we want the diversity, we want, people say, why is this not happening? Why is that not happening? You know what? Show up, give us feedback, You can speak, you can, there's opportunity to be involved and volunteer and build this beautiful feminine community we have going. So, yeah.
But yeah, and school, SKOOL.
Yes.
Join the
SK.
school. And you can
It's
go
a,
to your Facebook and you have a link there too, right? And
right.
in
Yep.
your Level Up with Marcy. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, it's interesting because I typed in the Bravo bot the other day and it was
Yes.
like Monica Bravo, like it's just type that in and you'll get all my links. It was
Yeah.
really cool. So the
I
Bravo,
loved Googling our names.
yeah. The BravoBot Bestie is .com is where you can get my all-in-one marketing assistant. So people said I don't have to hire a marketing assistant anymore.
Nope.
That's amazing. That's why I'm so happy. And you can go to the Monica Bravo and I have a free breath work on there, a free meditation, and you can book a free call with me, 15-minute call, and we can create whatever you'd like, whichever route you want to go. But this is our, I would say, our activation to tell you it's time. If you're watching this,
Yeah.
it's time I just heard like to be the main character in your life.
Yeah.
Like be the main character, not just be on the sidelines, but show up who you are, show up with who you want to be. And it took us 49 or,
Yeah.
years or so, both divorced. Both were
Yeah.
single moms for quite some time. We've gone through it, so we know. So if you're a single mom, you need a little bit extra support, let us know. We are both
Yeah.
very, very experienced with that. The
Yeah.
juggling.
The juggling too. And I don't want to just dive into the women. Like
Yeah.
I've had some really young men who have reached out to me and just said, "Hey, I hear you help with inner child work. I don't want to be the person that my father was or my mother was, or I want to break trauma. Um, People say you've helped with that. Can we do it?" And I think my youngest client was 26-year-old man. I was so proud of him. And no, we don't just sit in the muck. We're developing a plan for your future.
Yeah.
That's the thing is we're structuring who figuring out who you are so you can move forward and be the best version of yourself, right?
Yeah. And
Not what people tell you to be, told you to be.
yeah, and I would say too is like we're both super woo-woo, but we are also activated in our in that ajna. So we have structure and systems, which I think that's where people see our consistency is like we're not gonna be vague. You're gonna
Yeah.
get a plan from both of
Yeah.
us. You're
Yeah.
gonna people are like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
I
I
have to do
gotta
the
do
work. Yeah, I have to do the work. Oh,
yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah. Like all you can pay me, I'll do your ads, I'll get you clients, but you got to take the call, right? You got to
Yeah.
create those. I say this, it's your turn to create those
Create your system.
relationships.
Yeah, create your system. Well, you help create the systems, but you have to
Yeah.
follow up on. I have to send the emails out. I mean, what you did for me, it was so easy and seamless, right? But I still have to go. I have to go download the email list. I have to send an email out to my people. I
Yeah.
have to follow up. And you know what? It's freaking beautiful. Like
And then
I
people are
loved it. I
calling you,
love
you're
it.
booking calls and they're ready
Yeah.
for your next course. Then you
Yeah.
don't have to worry like I mean I think every week you're going to have 100 new people and I want people just to like live in that. Like imagine you have a
Well, and
hundred people just coming into your universe.
and people don't think big. We are so big picture thing. And I remember you were talking about working some internationally with people, right? Like
Oh
you
yeah.
put it in your universe. And so I want to say that, like, why do you do ads? Because I want to work with people all over the world. I don't need to work with somebody that's right next door, right? We're developing programs so we can work with you wherever you are. If you're in Europe, you can hop in my school. You can do the free classes. You can hop on and be in community with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My UK people out there apologize. They're like, your challenge is too late for us. So
Ah,
that's the other thing. When you're worldwide, you gotta have times that are a little bit later. Like I like to
or
do
super
mornings
early.
or super
Yeah.
early. Yeah. And
But
so
watch the
next 1 month we get yoga retreat in Italy. Whoop whoop.
yeah.
So every July, everybody put that in that calendar.
Yeah,
Retreats in Italy.
I'm putting it on the universe already. I'm gonna do a half day painting portal for people
Ooh.
here shortly. I don't know where it's gonna be at yet, but it's gonna be sometime this summer. I would say 4 hours to spend that time and figure out, move through this energy. This was my peace portal that I did. There's
Oh,
another portal behind me here for all
so
the people I
beautiful.
was teaching. So people are like, what is that? But it's just a movement of energy, and your art will speak to you. And it's a beautiful way to remember what you've been through. We do gratitude, we go back, we do inner child work, we go forward to see what you want, and it's just there. It doesn't have to be spoken. It's just something that's yours, and a lot of people need that.
And they
Something
can
that's
just do
just
it with
yours.
pencils. I did mine with
Yeah,
pencils.
exactly.
So it
That's
doesn't,
why
don't, we make it easy, everyone. You
we
can
make
just
it.
show up
Yeah,
with the pencils.
that's why I
So
did my first 4 week class, and you did it with pencils. And I love painting, and I realized when I would sit and do pencil, I started coming up with all this Mayan and Egyptian codex, and like
yeah,
it like because my the so you understand that if you can go into your subconscious and just start moving, and you can get ahead of your thinking mind, you're golden, because
yeah.
that's the hardest thing for people,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep. Yeah.
And I think too, that's what breath work really did for me. It just like boosted me back there in my subconscious. Like you're doing breath work and then you're like, boom, like, woo.
Yeah, you clear all that space. I have a younger generation now, and their minds go so fast with the phones and everything. They said this is the first time, like in a month, I've just focused on my breath. And then once we did the healing at the end, they got all these downloads, these like their grandmothers, their great grandmothers. Last week, a lady went through like 3 generations of anger. She's like, I saw it and I let it go. I was like giving it
Yeah.
back to Mother Earth. I said, there you go. It all
Yeah.
can
Just
it
like,
can happen easy, and we don't it with ease and flow. That's why I say to Grace, just
mhm.
make it ease and flow and just let it flow.
And the first step is just showing up, you know,
Yeah.
like take the class, talk to the person who's inspiring you, just show up. And
Sign up for the
that's,
free class. That's the big
yeah,
one. Like just sign up. We'll put the link. I'll put the link in here too for people, but sign up for the class.
yeah. And let us know if you want to hear some more from us, because we're talking
Yeah.
about maybe doing this weekly, or just
Yep.
talk about what we're doing, and really just how we vibe with each other, and how, you can activate all your gifts from within by vibing with us or other people too. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And no, you are activated. There are specific people in the world that are activators. We are that. And just listening, hearing, like opening your mind, washing, like, doing your art or washing the dishes or doing your laundry and just letting, like listening without the thinking mind. You'll be like, oh, I should do that. And if you have ideas, Saturday, I'm making apps for people all day. If you have an idea
Take
for an
one for
app,
me.
yeah. If you have an idea for an app, like shoot me. I've had people like, this lady said, I want to make an app where people learn how to have a
Well, you
garden.
might not want to tell everybody
Oh
that
yeah.
what they.
Yeah, yeah. But like they can flourish every day. I was
Yeah,
like, oh my gosh, like people's
yeah,
apps there's kids apps. I'm creating a kids app. I'm creating a gardening app, a real estate app. And so and I have my BravoBot Bestie, which is like anybody can use. And I'm starting the affiliate next week. So you'll get
yeah,
35% of my earnings from just sharing because I want that many people to learn about
yeah.
it.
And that's the thing. There's no scarcity. So when people get upset and that's
Yeah.
why people thought we were in competition. I'm like, I don't think that way at all. Like if
Right.
people call me, hey, do you do that? No, that's something more that she'll be able to help you with. Maybe I don't want to do it. Maybe I just don't know how to do it.
Right.
Whatever it is. But there's so much out there in abundance for everybody. There's enough. And
Yeah.
if you don't think that way, give us a call too.
Yeah. You
Right?
don't feel safe or you're protecting yourself, if you don't feel like you're enough or you're worthy or important or you don't, it's not your time or it's not for you. Anytime you say those things out loud, just catch yourself and write them down. Like,
Hmm.
oh my gosh, I just said that. That's
Yeah.
not productive. You
Yeah.
know, but then call us because we both have skills to be like removing that
Yeah.
those old patterns, those old
Yeah.
codes. Those are old
Yeah.
codes.
Old codes. And what
Yeah.
you and I are both like, Well, we received the new programming. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Yes, more. Thank you. Yes, more, please.
Yes, more, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Beauty and love, and updated version. Yeah. And we gotta, that's the thing. My one of my spiritual teachers, she loved that I said, I'm like, you have to, I mean, it's a part of leveling up, but you have to pass, it's like a video game, right? You gotta pass the level to move up. So if you're
Yeah,
like stuck down here, well, let's just take another step forward.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Get better and better every day. Little steps, piano, piano, step by step, and that's the way to make it every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
All
that we're
right.
good, huh?
Yeah. That was fun.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
everyone have a great day.
Have a great long weekend.